Hey y'all, I am here in Arlington, Virginia, and I am about to interview my former client, Rachel Hegarty, and this is Millie, her pup, who I met often virtually, but this is our first time hanging out in person. I think it's going pretty well. All right, Miss Rachel, tell us about your business.
I am a wedding and portrait photographer in the DC area, DC, Maryland, Virginia, Baltimore, and so I do weddings and portraits, but the main thing that I love doing is helping people feel comfortable in front of the camera, help them feel at ease.
You really do, and you come up with such clever things like, yes, you do wedding photography, but you've also done family photography, and then you do these amazing cherry blossom shoots, which I am dying to do with you. So it seems like you're a very creative business owner. You come up with fun new ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I try to think of things that I like to do and that inspire me, or that I just really get lit up about, like the cherry blossoms. I get really lit up about the cherry blossoms, and even though they're very challenging and strenuous and take a lot of time and planning and everything, and they're just a challenge overall, I just still love to do them, so I make it happen every year.
Quintessential DC.
Yeah.
One thing I've loved about watching your entrepreneurial journey is just how you've grown your business, like the grace and the savvy that you've built as an entrepreneur, the strategy. It's been really fun to watch. So I want to talk about both this last year of your business, but also the entire journey.
Yeah.
In this last year, what's the most important thing you've learned about business?
Well, unlike some businesses, photography actually was very busy. Like, photographers were very busy over the past year, at least those of us that do portraits. Weddings, of course, were sometimes canceled or postponed and pushed off, but the past year has been really busy for portrait sessions, and so I got into a mode of just constantly working all the time. And what I really learned is that I can still make time for myself, even when I'm really busy. I can set aside time intentionally and stick to it, and everything's fine. Like, I'm still just as busy and making just as much money, if not more, with setting aside intentional time to take care of myself, and even just to live life and do fun things that I want to do, which I hadn't always done.
Yeah. You're so good about this, and about even your morning rituals. Like, I remember in the mastermind, you were like, we cannot have meetings before this time. And you really set the boundary. And it was a wonderful thing to watch you take beautiful care of yourself. Is that something you had to learn?
Yes, for sure. When I first left my day job and started doing my business all the time, I was unsure of how to set my schedule, and I was kind of floundering on what to do with my day and how to spend my time. And finally I just kind of went the route of doing what I was most aligned with, and just constantly asking myself, what is aligning for me? And I like to sleep in, and I like to stay up late, so I was like, that's just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sleep in and take my time getting up and journal or meditate or read, to sort of ease myself into the day, have breakfast, and take my time.
And I love that you said that doing this actually makes you more money. Why do you think that is? What's the correlation?
I think anytime you're doing something that's in alignment, it's better for you and it's better for others, and you're just attracting to yourself the things that you want. So I think it makes me more peaceful and happier, and that is just attracting bigger and better things. And it's also making me in a better mood when I am working. which is important.
Hugely important.
Yeah.
What systems and approaches made you successful? If you really look back at the first few years, what was key?
From the beginning, I set up a CRM. I forget what that stands for, but it has kept me very organized. So making folders in my emails for each project and having that correlate in the CRM, and sending invoices, like that system allowed me to send invoices to get paid on time. Like a lot of other entrepreneurs that I have talked to over the years, they're often lamenting about not getting paid. And I was like, I'm always like, why don't you use something like this that automatically sends reminders and you can schedule everything, and it has a due date on it, and people take that seriously, especially when it's coming from something that looks very official.
What's the CRM that you use?
I use 17 Hats, but there's tons of them. But I've just used 17 Hats from the beginning, and it lets you do contracts and questionnaires and invoices. That's mainly what I use it for. It even has like a bookkeeping function, which is very helpful. It lets you add in sales tax. So just being organized from the beginning with something like that has been really helpful. And I mean, basically everything I do has a system. And so getting set up with that from the beginning and just being in that mindset of being really organized, I think has helped me keep everything streamlined, and has helped me come across professionally to my clients, which keeps a lot of them coming back. I get a lot of compliments and comments about my systems, and I think that gives me a little bit of an edge over some other people.
I imagine it has your clients feel taken care of.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Is there a reason when they give you compliments, what is it that they say? What do they like about it?
Mostly I just hear like, I love your system that you use. I love those emails. Like, it just, everything is organized and it keeps me on track. So I just hear I love it a lot, which I'm like, oh, you love getting an invoice? Great. Fantastic.
And what would you have changed if you could do it all over again, if anything?
Ooh, I think the one thing I would redo that I think would help me save time later is to set everything up from the beginning in preparation for outsourcing. So when I first set everything up, everything was very me-centered, and like I had to be the one involved in doing everything, and it was very like specific and detailed to like where I would be the only person that would understand it. And so changing that over to be able to bring in like an editor, a virtual assistant, someone to help me even organize my inbox in a certain way, I had to take so much time to sort of overhaul how I was doing everything. And even now, like my contracts are still very specific, so that's like the next thing I need to do so I can outsource that. So yeah, just having it all set up from the beginning with the idea in mind that eventually I'm going to be outsourcing this, so let me create it in a way where it's going to make that very easy to do in the future.
Give us an example of how one would do that.
Oh, let's see. Well, the easiest and best thing you could do is to find someone that specializes in that kind of thing, and just pay upfront to have them at least give you the tips. Like, you know, maybe you don't go through their whole package of what they do, but most of them will have some like basic thing that they can give you from the beginning to help you, like just tips and tricks on how to do it.
On how to like shift your working so that it's ready for someone?
Right. Cool. Like set it up this way instead of this way. Like from the beginning, just giving you those ideas. Even if you're the one doing it, getting everything set up, just having someone give you those expert tips and tricks from the beginning. That would be the best.
Yeah, that's so smart, because you could ask a personal assistant, hey, when you get a new client, What do you like them to have ready for you? And then I'm sure they'd be happy to talk to you, especially if you're going to hire them later on.
Right.
And it'll be easier for you to hire them.
Sure.
Yeah. What do you love most about your business right now?
Oh, what do I love most? Well, you know, I really have realized that I love working with people. And the other day I was actually thinking, like, what do I enjoy? Like, what is my favorite thing about each part of my process? And when I was thinking about like the actual taking of the photographs, what do I love most was interacting with people. I mean, I love the whole thing about shooting, but I love getting to interact with people and being out in nature and just getting to be like out and about doing what I love. So yeah, that's what I love the most, and that it still just kind of blows my mind that people want to pay me to do this, to do the thing that I love. I feel really lucky about that. Yeah.
You took a big leap of faith leaving your job. You worked for the government, and it took a lot of courage to go full-time into entrepreneurship. And now, of course, your business is paying you even better than working for the government. Mm-hmm. What's it like sitting in this home that you own, that you have bought as a business owner, knowing that your business is paying the mortgage and your business is taking care of you?
Oh, that's amazing. And I sometimes forget to think about it like that, but when I really just like take the second to center myself on that fact, it's, you know, I feel a lot of pride and a lot of appreciation, and just I'm sort of amazed at myself that this is how things have gone. And yeah, I'm just happy that I get to do what I love, and that it actually supports me to the point that I was able to like buy my own home and pay for everything through my business. Yeah, it's fun.
So let's chat about the mastermind, because some folks watching this will be interested in attending the Business Mastermind. How did the mastermind support your business growth?
Oh, a lot. Let's see. Well, I think before I even left my day job, I was in a mastermind with you, and honestly, like the conversations that we had, and that they were on such a regular basis, really teed me up to make the choices and make the decisions, like get things aligned and understand my values and like what I wanted out of my life, and understand that like my day job wasn't fulfilling those things. My business was, and that I should be putting more of myself into my business. So that was like an exponential help from the beginning. And then after I left my job and I stayed in a new mastermind, or I got into this new mastermind that I think we did for 2 or 3 years. 3 years. Just having that consistent accountability and support, and like constantly talking about things that I don't necessarily set aside time for in my everyday life or in my business, was very, very helpful. Just like kept me on top of like bigger picture things instead of getting lost in the weeds all the time of just like the hustle. Yeah, that was very helpful.
Stayed focused on working on the business versus in the business.
Yeah,
exactly. It's easy to get sucked into all the things the business needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's unique about the mastermind? How does it stand out from a networking or a support group?
Well, first of all, it really just like the community of people that like having all people from all different walks of life in one place, and having this like common understanding amongst all of us that whatever we're saying to each other, we're going to say with good intentions and with love, and that we're there to help and support each other. That is very different than I found in other places, and it makes it that much easier to say like the harder things. And sometimes hearing those things is what we really need. And I haven't really found that anywhere else. And also just having the common language with each other. I did one-on-one coaching before doing the masterminds. And so like I had this language that I was using with my coach, but I couldn't really use it anywhere else because nobody else really gets it unless you're in it. So having like a group of people that I could talk to like that, I've always found very, very helpful and very nice just to have that.
There's something I'm getting from you in this conversation around the challenge, like the way that you're able to challenge each other in the mastermind. Talk more about why challenging each other is valuable.
I really think there's nowhere else that you're gonna get that, and we often don't know to ask for it. So having that set up as a premise of the group from the beginning is helpful, because in your everyday life, like, I mean, most of us hopefully have people that are supporting us and they want to be like positive and helpful, and they think what's positive and helpful is giving us like pats on the back and encouragement, and like that's all great, but having people ask you tough questions and really get you thinking, that's what's really going to help you grow. That's what's going to grow your business. That's what's going to help you grow as a person. So yeah, I think that's where the challenge comes in and has been really valuable.
Who's the right fit for a program like this? Who would do well in the mastermind?
Definitely someone who is open. Just open in general, open-minded, but open to new ideas and open to whatever is going to come. Because I think you might go into something like this or with like an idea in your mind of what you want to get out of it, and it's like maybe you get that out of it, but you end up getting so much more, and you're only going to get that so much more if you stay open to it. So I think first and foremost, like, somebody needs to be open and willing, and willing to consider, and then open to also like sharing with others and giving feedback too.
And what makes it worth the investment of time and money? It's quite a bit of time and money.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this, and I thought to myself, I mean, first of all, there's all the like tangible takeaways that you're going to get out of it. But I think whenever I make a big investment, I fret about it and I worry about it. But at the end of the day, especially when it's come to coaching, I never look back and think like, oh man, I really wish I hadn't spent that money on coaching. Like that thought never enters my mind. It's the exact opposite, where I think like I got so much value out of this that it was definitely worth my time and money, and probably more, because it's really sometimes priceless, the things that you can get from participating in a group like this.
And who is Meg as a coach? How is she as a facilitator?
Well, as a facilitator, she's very organized, and she is someone who is going to stand for you. Like, she's gonna stay focused and centered on the thing that you've asked for, and stand for that, maybe even when it's uncomfortable or challenging. And she's really smart and knows how to do that in a way that is going to be helpful and engaging, and like push you forward. And then I think too, and I always say this, is like, she just leads the way and sets a good example, because I don't know, when I'm looking at successful people, I think like they did that, so that means I could do that. Like, it's possible. I've seen it be possible, and so I know that I can do that too. And I feel like Megan is the leader. Like, she's leading the way. She's doing everything she wants to do, all the cool stuff, coming up with creative ideas all the time, and setting the stage for the rest of us. Yeah.
Oh, Rachel, thank you for sharing all your wisdom and how it is to be in the mastermind. I so admire you as a business owner, and it's so fun to be in your house and to hear more about all the things that you do, and to finally meet Millie, who's down there. There she is. There's Millie.